Welcome back to the Predators GM mode. Today is our trade deadline. Oh, I didn't go that far. Is our trade deadline slash finishing season simulation mega special. It's not even really that special. I'm only gonna make one move at the trade deadline. So I kind of teased in the last episode, but I also said the Florida Panthers were doing good in the standings, so they wouldn't want to make this trade. However, I did look at the trade block, and the player that I was after was on there. It was Jaromir Jagr. He would fit in that second line right wing role perfectly, and we could put Colin Wilson back at the center. I still don't want to make that trade. We could put Colin Wilson back at the center, and Mike Fisher could play left wing for us, just so everyone's on the right side. What was I looking at? OHL. He went from I believe he was a top 10. Now he's down to just a first rounder. No, Malak is good. Seen him before. Sprong. We already know the OHL. I don't need to go back there. We haven't gone here. We don't need to go here for that long, though. There's a lot of prospects, but there's not a lot of good prospects. So we're stemming up to the trade deadline. We're going to take on the New Jersey Devils. After we take on the Rangers, we won. So we're going to try and get this trade done in the first hour of the trade deadline. So what the trade basically was is you're going to go to Florida. And we're going to go to... they put another goalie on the block? Oh, Dan Ellis. Not anyone good. Or better than who we already have. So go to skaters giving away. They have Yoni Pikkinen now too. They added a lot of players since actually the trade deadline. Jaromir Jagr and Sean Thornton. Now this also presents an opportunity to get rid of. Well, first the prospect we're putting on here is Justin Kirkland. He's not signed. He's 3.5 stars, power forward. I'd say once his aggressiveness gets up there, his defense is also going to develop pretty well. He's going to be a good player, I think. He's only 18, so there's that. And I believe he's a good prospect. He's just not signed, and his trade value is not very great, so I don't know if he'll actually get good. But he seems like a good prospect, especially for a 43-year-old winger. And Eric Nystrom. I believe we're going to have to... I don't remember. What happened now? Oh, we probably have to take another player, or give them another player. And we'll go down here, and I believe we also gave up... I don't remember. I don't remember who the other person was. I'm just going to throw someone on here, like Ryan Clune. Experience could play the fourth line for them. And I think that's a good deal as it stands now, but I'm also going to throw in their way, even though they don't want it, I'm going to throw them a 5th round pick. So, the final trade is Justin Kirkland, Eric Nystrom, Ryan Clune, those two depth players and a late pick for the enforcer. The basic reason I want him is because his contract's not as bad as Nystrom's, plus he has a 5-star physical category, and I don't know why his defense is like 3 stars. He's got 82 defensive awareness for the fourth line. That's not awful. I mean, I don't know. And Jagr, who's got he's gonna fit that second line role instead of Santorelli. And Mike Fisher can be relegated to more of a defensive role. And he has 27 goals, 22 assists this season. He's been scoring pretty nicely. So, and his defense is actually pretty good. Outside of shot blocking, he's got an 84 defensive awareness and an 85 stick checking. He's got good physical stats, so he fits in with our style of play as it currently stands, while adding a scoring punch to us for the playoff run. So we're gonna make this trade, and they did get a little bit more according to them. I think it was pretty even. I think I can see it from both sides. We are gonna best lines it real quick. Put Jagr on the top line. I don't want that. Fisher, move up. Gostad, center. Craig Smith, left wing. Who's scratched? Matt Cullen. Okay. I was like, there's someone who shouldn't be here. Bork. We do want Bork. We'll scratch back. And then we'll fill in the lines from there. Is he a right winger or left winger? Alright, right winger. And everything else should be fine. Defensively, need to switch this up again. Power play. I want Forsberg up here still. I'm gonna keep him on our off wings though, because we had a top power play like that. And then instead of Mike Fisher, I want Craig Smith. Our power play's just been working the way we've had it, so I'm gonna keep it the way it's been. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, put Forsberg instead of Yager on the 4-man. Actually, put Forsberg as a center instead of Colin Wilson. Because I believe he has okay face-offs. Because I think he used to be a center in the minor leagues. Yeah, he's got 70 face-offs. He can suffice. He's pretty well-rounded. I just want to see his points total against 44. That's not bad. He's gonna score 20 goals this season for for a rookie. That's pretty good. Penalty kill. I cannot think of ways to make this better at this point. I'm just gonna leave this what they suggested. Besides, I'm gonna put Seth Jones on instead of Cody Franzen. It's the only thing I'm gonna change. Because the players on there now I like, so 4-on-4 lines. We're gonna put Forsberg with Yager instead of this, and then put Colin Wilson on our third 4-on-4 line. Right wing. So that'll work out pretty nicely. And instead of James Neal, we want Forsberg out there. Give him yeah, we want Forsberg out there to give him as much opportunity to develop. At this point, he's still only an 86. I think he can get up to like an 89, if he has a few good seasons. And instead of Ribeiro, put Franzen and flip Yager down here, and that, and we'll put. This doesn't even matter. I just realized either. So, Shea Weber. All right. It's more of a symbolic thing at this point. AHL lines. Let's put someone who's scratched on here. Who's got decent potential? Sure. And then. Alright, so now let's get out of the trade deadline screen. That took 8 minutes to do that. Although I did explain the trade during part of it. We'll take calls though. We'll look at calls. I don't want Martin Erat, especially for a 2nd round pick. If you were trading him to me for like a late pick, I probably still wouldn't take it because I just gave up a late pick, but it would at least make more sense to me than a 2nd round pick. I just don't think Martin Erat at this point in his career is worth a 2nd round pick, especially for our team because he played 3rd or 4th line. We do have a few injuries at this point, so I do kind of understand why they would think that we need like another depth winger, but we don't have any major injuries at this point. I believe Santorelli is only going to be out for a week, so that'll bolster our 3rd line whenever he comes back. Although I don't think he'll play anything besides even strength minutes for us anyway. I still believe that he's a good. Maybe I wouldn't say good. I still believe that he makes our team better. And Yager scored 2 goals. I remember he had 27. He scored 2 goals for us against one of his former teams, New Jersey. And Santorelli's already back. It's Victor Stahlberg who's going to be out forever. And he's going to play the 4th line instead of Bork for us anyway. So we are going to scratch Fedotenko. How's he been doing, actually? I just want to check up on him. He's probably been doing all that great. He came out on fire after being a healthy scratch. Yeah, he only has 5 points in 28 games, and he's not even a positive player. Let's put Santorelli in here on 5-on-5. And I honestly probably won't even keep Santorelli past this season. It all depends on whether we re-sign Mike Fisher or not, because I might open a spot up for Santorelli on that 2nd line. And also how good if Kel Yarncrook gets up to like an 82 or 83, I might play him on the 2nd line or 3rd line, and it might move someone up or down. Who knows? Yeah, I really think Yager makes us better for this year, which at this point, we're playing for this year, really. We got a lot of great players making our team really good this year. And next year, I don't 100% know. Ooh, we're over the max players. I don't 100% know for next year. I'm gonna send Beck down now. No one claimed him. Now that we have all the extra players, I don't think there's really gonna be as much competition next year. I think we might contend for a Stanley Cup, but I don't know at what, like, how successfully we will, because I don't think our team will be nearly as good. We might not. We're probably not gonna re-sign Mike Fisher because he's gonna want more money than I'm gonna want to pay him because he's an 86 overall. And you know, you can't trade rights in this game, which is stupid, because if you were going to trade someone, you were going to say, hey, I'll give you the right for a week exclusively to have the liberty to sign this player in exchange for a draft pick, a late draft pick. I believe most teams would probably say that's okay. Like, for instance, even when it doesn't work out, the Islanders traded a 4th-round pick or a 5th-round pick to get the rights to Dan Boyle from the San Jose Sharks. Last season, I believe they traded. Yeah, before this last off season, and they still didn't sign him. But I mean, are they going to say that was a bad trade? You know, no. They had an opportunity to sign him before anyone else. That's a pretty, like, a solid trade. You didn't give up a whole lot, and you got a chance to sign a good defenseman, especially when that was one of the major holes on your team. A team like the Islanders had no defenseman really before this season. Besides Travis Hamonic, who's not really an offensive producer. They got their 2 best defensemen on their team in the offseason, so via both from trades. So Yager's not really scored since we got him. He's scored 1 goal, I think, or 2 goals, both in 1 game though. So I don't know if he's not fitting in on that line, or we're losing a couple games in a row here, but we're at a pretty good point in the season already. Our offense hasn't really been showing up lately. Our defense didn't show up in that first game. We got shut out in the second game, so not much you can really do about that. Outside of Yager, though, I don't know if we're going to have a 30-goal scorer. And if Yager doesn't score 30 goals, I'll just be downright disappointed. We got like 10 games left on the schedule, I'm pretty sure. It won't be it's like slightly above that, I think. Somewhere in there, yeah. Yeah, we have like 7 games left. Could you get 1 more goal already? Good God. I don't know who that is. Not important to us, obviously. Lightning were another team I was considering a trade for, but that can come back next off season, or this off season, because we could always re-sign Mike Fisher just to trade him, although that does sound shitty, and I'm aware of that. It is a possibility. Although I don't really plan on it. We'd have to see how it plays on the offseason. We scored 7 goals in Yager and none of them. Come on. You know what? I'd be okay if I found out like he was, you know, contributing on the playmaking side. So I'm gonna write down his stats right here, real quick once I'm done with this. What about Russia? My 2nd rounder. Yeah, but we know a lot about Merkley. We might get him. Actually, he was just a 1st rounder, right? Yeah, we can get him if he's still available when we or our turn to pick. We'll scout the queue for a month. Alright, so let me get my pad. It's behind my TV. It was 27-22. That was his point totals. Those point totals with Florida, and I don't care who that is. Also, we just lost in overtime. 27-22. Alright, so Pecorini's pushing 40 wins. Ribeiro's possibly get up to 60 assists season, but he's already got a 50 assist season, which I said was a solid season for him, because that's at least 60 points, and I want that out of a top-line center. And he was having a really good... He was an all-star, so he was a starter in the all-star game. He's not Tyler Seguin, who has 92 points and leading his team single-handedly to the playoffs, but... we lost them in overtime. Not going so well. We have 3 games left, so yeah, Ribeiro's not going to get up to 60 assists this season. I want freaking Yager to get up to 30 goals. Can he get there? Jesus Christ. He needs 1 goal. He's scored like 1... He's scored 2 goals since we got him. We need more goals out of Yager. I don't think we're going to win well, we might win, but because we still won games with him. But okay, 30 goals right there. Ribeiro gave himself a good chance to get up to. He had 3 assists, I think, in that game. On the 6 goals we scored. So if we can prevent Tyler Seguin from getting up to 100 points, we should probably win this game. Although he might. Well, no, he couldn't have because we only scored 1 goal. And Ribeiro actually pushed it for 60 assists. He got 2 in that game. And James Neal overtook the goal scoring lead. He scored 30 goals for us this season. So next episode we'll get into the playoffs. This episode we'll just devote to getting everything figured out. So Western Conference standings, Vancouver made a pretty good push toward the end of the season, but it wasn't quite enough. As we take the Western Conference crown, we took the Central Division. We'll be taking on Colorado, I believe, in the first round, and I believe we'd take on Colorado, and Vancouver would get Dallas, because since we're in the Central Division and Colorado's the lower seed of our division, Dallas would cross over and take on Vancouver, and it'd be Anaheim and LA. Chicago, St. Louis would be a great series to watch again, especially this year, since St. Louis probably won't just be a dud. Not in real life, but I mean in this game. Detroit will be facing New York. No. Yeah, Detroit will be facing Montreal. There was no crossover in the East. Toronto and Boston, that'd be a great series to watch again. That was a great series the last time it was. Pittsburgh and Carolina, and New York and New York. That would be a great series to watch this year. I hope that series happens this year at some point in the playoffs. It won't. It would have to be in the second round, but unless they do the crossover thing. I don't know if they still do like the mixed seeding after the first round like they used to do. Where I know like last year, like the last few years before they changed the playoff format, I know they used to reseed in the second round, so it would be like, you know, the winner of the 1 and 8 seed wouldn't take on the winner of the 4 and 5 seed in each conference, and it was like instead of like, you know, the 1 and you'd think like the 1 and 8 would take on like the 2 and 7. It was like they changed it up. I don't know for what real reason. And New Jersey was last in the entire league. And Buffalo was second, and no team in the West had less than 70 points, so that's good for the Western Conference. Goals leader, Alexander Ovechkin wins his 5th. Maurice Richard, 6th, I think. He's my favorite player, and I still don't know how many he has. That's sad. Assists, Jesus, Stephen Weiss was in the top 5. Ribeiro was tied for second. There was no catching Datsuk, though. And Datsuk, the only player who almost had a 100-point season in the entire league. And, well, Seguin really pushed it, and Tavares had 10 points above a point per game. So Stephen Weiss must play that top line with those two. And Pekka Rinne led the league in wins. He was second in goals against average and save percentage. A really surprising list for some people up here, like Justin Peters and I guess Andrei Pavelek for save percentage, and I would say Semyon Varlamov, but he wasn't contention for the Vezina last season, so I guess it's not that surprising. Team standings, let's look at these. So we finished top of the league. We won the President's Trophy. 51. Well, we didn't lead the league in wins. We were second in the league in wins, tied with Pittsburgh. We were 51, 21, and 10. All those overtime losses really gave us an edge. As you can see, the Islanders, if they had as many overtime losses as we did, they would have 1 more point. Or if they had, like, 5 more wins, they would, or yeah, 5. They need 4 more wins even, and they would be a point ahead of us, because we lost so many overtime. Like, a lot of our losses came in overtime. So we obviously led the league in point percentage. Goals for, we were a top 10 pushing. So I guess Yager did have a positive effect, and we were number 2. So it's like it's kind of, we're like the Washington of this, where we're like top 10, just pushing for goals against or goals for, but we're an elite goals against team. Power play percentage, we were 3rd. I don't know why. Our power play is not really that good, but I guess that's more middle of the pack than. Well, I guess it's above 20%, it's top 10. But we're really like, there's the fraction of difference between 3 and 10 is like nominal. And a lot of the teams with good power plays didn't even make the playoffs, besides St. Louis, who in real life also have the best power play. Our penalty kill was 18th, but where were we for penalties? We were like the ninth, like we give up the ninth least penalties, so it doesn't really all. It's not a huge deal. Not a huge deal that we're like in the middle of the pack. So we'll look at our player stats, and then we'll do a playoff. We'll just look at the playoff team we'll face in the playoffs. Mike Ribeiro, oh, he almost made a point per game. That would have been awesome. And we got to do some math with Yager. Let me get my calculator. So Ribeiro had 23 goals, 58 assists, 81 points. We'll do plus minus last. Actually, Yager was a minus with us. He was like a -8 or a 7 before. And Philip Forsberg's solid rookie season. Really picked it up in the second half. 21 goals, 47 assists. We'll go by points first, and then we'll do everything else after. Like we'll go individual goals and stuff. Yager. So let's see. He had more assists with us. He played like, let's say 12. He played like 12 games with us. So in those 12 games, he had 3 goals and 8 assists, 9 assists. That's solid. You know, he had a lot of assists for us. You know, that's fine. He was still scoring. And that's pretty good. That second line looks like they picked it up pretty nicely. James Neal, 60 points, 31 goals. Solid top line winger for us. 60-point season is a solid season for top liner. Franzen with 46 points, solid. We're going to have to re-sign him. He had 10 goals, which is good for an offensive defenseman. Colin Wilson, 30 goals. Not so great with the assists, but he wasn't playing with great players all year. We'll see. Yeah, you can see like they weren't even like point every 2-game players. Roman Josi, 46 points. Didn't quite score 10 goals, but he was right there. And he's a two-way defenseman anyway. So Shea Weber with 39 points. He scored 17 goals. I think that's most among our defensemen. But he only played 67 games, and he was a plus 21. So Craig Smith, 36 points. That's great considering he was on our power play, but he only was on the third line, like even strength. And Mike Fisher, 72 games, 35 points. Not impressive at all. Ryan Ellis, good for an offensive defenseman, had a lot of assists. Mike Santorelli was awful pretty much all year. Only had 30 points. Seth Jones with 20 points, playing that second pairing. He was an even player too. You know, a rough season, but he can pick it up, I think, if he progresses nicely. Cullen with 20 points. Stahlberg with 20 points, and only in 47 games. And he really was kind of a dud once he came back. Gostad, our third-line center, really only there for face-offs, scored 17 points. Gabriel Bork with 13 before he was scratched. Volchenkov 7, Bartley, Fedotenko, Beck, Sean Thornton had an assist for us. Alright, so let's go by forwards. We had 3 30-goal scorers and 5 20-goal scorers, so that's awesome. James Neal led our team with 31, but Wilson and Yager had 30 apiece, and Ribeiro had 23, Forsberg had 21. So I think that top line of Neal, Ribeiro, and Forsberg was perfect. As Ribeiro and Forsberg almost had, if he had 50 assists as a rookie, that would be impressive. I would have called him Rookie of the Year, even though he's not a rookie in this game. I think he's rookie in real life though. I don't know. I don't know what the game requirement is actually. Like the game requirement actually is. Assists 58. Yager at 30. James Neal's pushing 30. If he had a couple more, he would have like 63 point season. That would have been good. Plus minus among forwards. Neal, Ribeiro, and Forsberg were above and beyond everything else. And Fisher, Santorelli, and Gabriel Bork were each plus 10. And then our team was not a great even strength team. Colin Wilson, Sean Thornton, all even. And we'll go defenseman now. So the defense's leader in goals is obviously Shea Weber, scored 17. It was way above Cody Franzen's 10. Roman Josi and Ryan Ellis each had 9, and Seth Jones only had 4. Roman Josi had 37 assists to lead defenseman, along with Cody Franzen. That's good, though. He had the same number of points as Franzen playing that second pairing. That's probably going to help Jones' development out a lot, too. And plus minus, Cody Franzen was plus 23, Shea Weber plus 21. That's good that Shea Weber was a plus 21 because it showed his defensive impact, even though he played less games and had a similar plus minus to Franzen. Ryan Ellis, 4 of his goals came on the power play, so keep that in mind going into next season. Volchenkov plus 11 playing great defense, and I don't know how Jones is even. Must be because he doesn't like. I guess it doesn't have anything to do with the power play, but I don't know. It might have something to do with it. Carter Hutton really brought his goals against down. Pecorine 2.13 goals against 41 and 22. It looks like it's a really good record. A 927 save percentage and 8 shutouts. Well, Carter Hutton a 912 save percentage. So he really probably just got bailed out by having really good defense. Because his goals against is still really good, and his save percentage is not all that impressive. It's solid for a backup, even though he's an 80 overall and probably not going to last on our team. But yeah, that's the season. We'll sim up to the next couple days, and once I see the playoff team, I'm gonna cut it off. Just officially, I'm pretty sure we're playing. Yeah, we're playing Colorado. So next episode, Jesus. Oh, we only 51 wins. Yeah, that's a great season. You know, anytime you can win 50 games, your team had a good year. So that's gonna wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode where we'll be simming a few games against the Colorado Avalanche.